Hi everybody, it's your girl Brittany Alexis coming here to make another Kenneka Jenkins video regarding a couple messages that I started regarding someone else that's on YouTube, making factual videos for the Kenneka Jenkins case. This was a conversation Gray Hughes and I had probably a week or so ago on YouTube comments, and he answered my questions. I didn't really get the response and additional questions or concerns answered, but maybe somebody else on YouTube can. I think, his page is based on facts, and since a lot of my questions, I'm not going to have any proof or evidence for, only, lack of evidence, really. So I'll show you what I mean. So I was telling Gray, I love how your videos are so factual. I get so annoyed with the random conspiracy theories that get thrown out without any facts to back it up. I don't necessarily believe this is an accident because I need a few questions answered. Clearly, based on the evidence provided, it appears to be an accident, but some things are off. What about the evidence not provided or the questions that aren't clear? Let me know if you can assist with any of the following. So the first thing I asked him was, if anyone slipped her the pills, how can this be an accident? She was fine at 1:13 a.m. but missing around 2 a.m. according to a random 911 call. She was already texting that she was ready to go at 1:20 a.m. according to the police report. That's my first question. I'm going to go over his response in just a second. But, I barely heard this police 911 call, not too long ago, so it's kind of still a question. We've all heard the 911 call with Teresa Martin. I've even heard calls to 911 from a hotel staff, I believe. I've heard 911 calls, or maybe dispatched between cop to cop. And I've seen, additionally, the one I'm referring to, which someone said that she was, disabled at 2 a.m. And that's just odd to me, because if she was at the elevator at 3:24, 3:25, where was she at 2 p.m. or 2 something, I don't know, I thought she was in the room, but it's just weird. Maybe that was a random call, maybe they had the time wrong, you never know. But what Gray's answer was is, yes, the death is still an accident, but there might be some negligence. Nobody calls her death had the drug killed her, yes. So he's basically saying, if the drug killed her, then somebody could be to blame. But because she could have taken it herself, then, or maybe even if someone drugged her and she didn't die, really, she caused her own death. It sounds right on paper, I guess, but in real life, it's not right for someone to clearly have other evidence through text messages, her other Facebook videos showing how outgoing she was, and this night you can just see she wasn't like that. Who comes to a party at that age, change their mind from going to the movie theater to now say, oh, I'm going to go to this party and now I don't even want to be here. And then you don't have your keys to say, you know what, I'm driving, I'm going to leave, girls. Or, you know what, girls, y'all need to leave, find your own ride, whatever the case may be. It's nothing like that. And sometimes, us black women, we stick together. Either we decide to all leave together or we decide to all stay together. But it didn't seem unified after we seen them on camera. And I don't know, I just have questions about it. It could be something that could be explained, but at this point, I still have questions. Second question to Gray was, I said, texts from the friends' phones that the police reviewed appear to show the friends blaming each other. If it's purely an accident, why so much blame on the friend's part? And he said, because they each don't want to take responsibility for leaving her in the hall, and the person who gets the blame will get the wrath from all the freaks on social media. And I do agree with that. I guess, if everybody's getting blamed, I just still feel like, maybe instead of blame, they would all be like unified. Like, we have no idea. Like, how could this even happen? How could she be found in a hotel? It's not like that. It's like, oh, well, those are her friends. I wasn't with her. I was doing this. And it's like, why so much blame? It could be just to push it off. You never know. So I'm open to hearing different answers to that, but I appreciate his answer. My third question to him was, do you think it's a coincidence that the security, an employee, and a postman were all in the same area, minus the upper kitchen, according to footage and the police report timestamps. All in the same areas as Keneeka within an hour before and after she is seen on footage, as if they were involved or they were forced to clear out the area for a period of time. I mean, because no one else appears to be on the footage with Keneeka ever after 3:25 a.m. So he says no, through that evening, the overall area that Keneeka walked is very limited in reality. I think you are just searching for something. And I mean, I don't think I'm searching for something, but I mean, it's just weird that on the footage you see a lot of those areas that she was in, I mean, minus the hallway. I mean, people were cleaning, people were walking in that area, like as far as the security. Certain employees were in the kitchen an hour, 45 minutes, 30 something minutes before she got there. And then you also see, like, how many times did you see the elevator door open before 3:25 and after 3:25? Like, it's like, if there's supposedly, and this is allegedly because we don't know for a fact, if there is gang activity, you don't think there'd be some people that are scared if they see a bunch of people at different, non-camera areas where they're not in view of camera. Let's say they're on that stairwell. You don't think there's people, that could be making people kind of move in a different area? I don't know. That might not be the case. I mean, what Mr. Gray was basically saying is she clearly just walked there. She was stumbling and checking doors, so it has to be an accident. But it's just, within that time frame, that happening and no one else, cooperating, it is clearly negligence. But on top of that, it's just too perfect. Like, you see the security running around. You see people in the kitchen cleaning up. People going back and forth. You see kids going downstairs from the elevator. And when I say kids, I mean like the teenagers, maybe people from the party, maybe people from the hotel going down there, possibly just going right up to the conference stairs. I'm not really sure where else they went. But people were getting off the elevator. Some people were getting on the elevator. People were downstairs, and it just seemed like a coincidence when she went down there was nobody down there. And I feel like there's certain areas that, you know, were blind spots to the camera. And if it wasn't a blind spot where someone was leading her different areas, then I feel like, this is a question, not an accusation, is there any possibility that cameras could be shut off or lights could be turned off, which means things wouldn't be recorded? Is that even a possibility with the footage provided? And, because I figure out things that may have happened that hasn't been proven. And, I think we wanted to underestimate some of the kids there. And if there is gang activity, whatever, they could have a lot smarter ways than we could think of, as far as setting up people. It doesn't have to be the normal old school setup that you would think of. It could be just like this, if it was gang related. It may not be. I have no idea. That's exactly why I'm trying to get people that are open to a discussion and figuring out, getting to the bottom. Sorry. So I'm going to go to my next question with Mr. Gray, which is question number 4. If it was an accident based on her very determined walk within 7 minutes, why does it appear that she had been there before? And I put in parentheses, no evidence, and or she was tricked into going into the freezer area. And I just listed a stupid example. It says, if you want to leave, you have to get your keys from the freezer. And I was just saying that because obviously in the police evidence, it does show that she wanted to leave within minutes of being in the hotel. So to me, it's like, what if, I'm just going to throw a name out there, don't kill me. If let's say Bray told her, oh yeah, I'm out by the freezer, that one exit, just go in there, I got your keys. Or what if some guys are telling her, yeah girl, I got your keys, just go in the freezer. Whatever it is, and you never know. That sounds like a stupid story, but I'm just saying, when someone's intoxicated and you're playing with them and you're making them think, yeah, you're about to leave, Either way, that was just an example. So what he answered was suggesting that her walk it was determined is not accurate. She was checking doors, just stumbling through the halls, etc. She was not tricked into going into the freezer. Show me any evidence that is true. Just one piece of factual evidence. And trust me, I'm not saying I have factual evidence. I'm just saying the lack of evidence. Like, there's no audio. We can't hear if anyone's calling out her name. We don't know what she was doing from 2 to 3:30. We don't, or 2 to 2:25. We don't know. So those are the things we don't know. We only, what, she was in the party the whole time? That's not what the reports are saying. The reports aren't saying she was in the party all the way until that time. So there was at least 30 minutes to an hour, depending on which story you're looking at. What was she doing at the time? Who was talking to her? What was she told? We don't know these things. So the fact that she was going through that hallway supposedly alone, she could have been coached prior to her getting on the elevator and being first caught on film. I mean, are we going to just assume she's walking through the hallway on a no camera area for 30 minutes to an hour? You know, we don't know these things. I can only go off the reports and what the people at the party and witnesses are saying. So, you know, at the party, everybody's saying she was happy, then sad, and really sad and down, got more drunk than normal, abnormal behavior, you know, after she just got a new job. It doesn't sound normal. It seems like she was expecting to go to movies that night, and her mind changed for some reason. You know, why go to the movies and then with your friends, and then now you're saying this, and now some unexplained texts and unexplained numbers are there as evidence. But, I mean, it's still an accident. I mean, it just doesn't add up to me, and I wish somebody could kind of ease that understanding. So the fifth question I asked him was based on the way she was found in the freezer with her shoe off, pants barely pulled up, and her breast out. Seem even Dr.Oz says paradoxal undressing is not likely. Seems only one of 3 hypothermia cases experiences. Plus, most cases they're completely undressed. I know it's a lot, but I only want to focus on the facts. But those are the questions I feel are left unknown without more evidence and witness statements. So he says, Dr. Oz and Nancy Grace seal sensationalism just like Straight Drop does. They're full of shit. Nancy Disgrace said on the Oz show Keneeka pants were down and shirt was up. What a load of shit. In much of the surveillance, Keneeka adjusts her breasts as they come out of the top. She even pulled her pants up a number of times. It's just the way it was. To suggest what they are based on the autopsy is embarrassing and disgusting. I responded, I said, I agree there's no evidence proving otherwise. I do remember her fixing her shirt and pants. I was wondering why her friends didn't just say I or we didn't do anything if they were innocent. But you're right, social media is making them play the blame game. I said, oh my God, I can't take listening to Straight Drop or anyone that doesn't make sense. So I really enjoyed your page because you make everything make sense. It's still word that as soon as she gets there, she's ready to go. And statements all show she's sad and got more drunk than usual. No one else was stumbling like Keneeka, so I guess I assumed she was drugged on purpose. No proof of that, of course. Why didn't she have her keys and phones if she was ready to go? Definitely sucks that mom was in the hotel at the time Keneeka may have been alive and discovered. Sucks the hotel wasn't more helpful. Also sucks that her friends were selfish and left her in the state. Thank you for all the facts and filling in the gaps of my limited information I've got. So, he didn't respond to that, but I mean, that was just like my response to him, really. Some additional questions I didn't ask because I could kind of see by his answers that he kind of already has his mind made up, and unless I give him facts, he's not going to really answer my questions. So I didn't know if anyone else can help. Some additional questions I had are, which of the friends work at the hotel? Because I've heard Irene did, I've heard Monifa does, I've heard Adriana does, but where are the facts? Like, who really works there? Does anybody currently work there? Did somebody work there in the past? Because I feel like if we know that, that's a key factor. Like, that's something that can really help us, know if someone had more access and more knowledge about the cameras and the layout. And, maybe answers the questions on why Teresa Martin saw a ticket in the car for the 6 days prior to Keneeka being at this party. So is it something that they've been here before and they knew how to manipulate the cameras? Like, question is, when will Teresa Martin's autopsy be completed? Because I want to say it was a radio interview that I saw her do. I think that's when she said that she did do her own autopsy and she's still waiting on those results. So I'm very interested in hearing that information to see if it differs at all from the original autopsy or if it's all the same. But either way, it seems like a long time to be waiting. I do have videos on all the different things that I've had questions on to kind of go over why I even thought these things in the first place. That way, I'm not just making up stuff. I have watched things and seen things, and I try to stay away from things that don't make sense. So things that did but left me with question marks are what I'm going to talk about and I have talking about. And lastly, what about the initial text and screenshot messages I saw on social media that appear to be incriminating? I mean, there's some messages out there from the beginning that were talking about, oh man, we were raping that girl and she had a heart attack, so we put her in a freezer. And it's like, it kind of seemed weird, and I just assumed that it was BS, but you know, when we got the evidence and how she was found, it's kind of like, did someone just throw her in here? I don't know. I just have questions on why these things were out there in the very beginning, and was it even looked at, or is it BS? So I'm gonna go over those videos in my next upcoming videos. But if you have questions, so I know what I need to go over, please comment below, like, share, subscribe. And again, my name is Brittany Alexis. I'm gonna go and let you guys have a great night and enjoy your work on Monday. Bye.